There you go. Our own personal. Yeah, no, it's a lot. Think we do. Okay.
The Silver people, Silver candles should be lit by other people. Because if you got your own menorah, you get to light it yourself if you like.
Because it's Hanukkah right now. And they were installing a string. Like there wasn't. I got some problem with it. I'm still working on the string. I'll thing until I
We wanted to check.
That's the one over there.
Huh.
No, that's fundraising.
start your lunch. It's potluck. I know.
Moses is not going to be white.
Uh-oh. It's blank.
Mr. Darrell, you turn on the microphone.
You can't have the flame tipping over. It's like leaning to the side.
Yeah, that's the way it is.
That's the only time we have to get up.
That's the only time we have to get up in front of you. You see, that's two. Something like that.
That brings us up. Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Auburn Unitarian Universalist Fellowship, located on occupied ancestral land of the Muskogee Nation and housed in a building constructed by free, formerly enslaved African Americans. My name is Peter LeBan, and I am the Service Associate today. Our mission is to be a welcoming and caring community dedicated to challenging the mind, nurturing the spirit, and transforming the world through the pursuit of truth, love, and justice. On behalf of the members of the fellowship, I extend a special welcome to all visitors who are joining us for the first time, and to those who still feel like visitors. If you haven't yet, please sign our visitor's log at the greeters table near the back of the congregation. To keep up with the activities of this community, check the AUUF website, auuf.org. Sign up for our email and watch for any announcements printed on the back of the order of service. We also allocate time for brief, spoken announcements at the end of the service. Please turn your phone and other electronic devices to silent. And we hear faintly in our imagination the sound of the bell
Ring the bell. Ring it.
It's ringing. Okay. Yeah, it's done. Light One Candle was written by folk singer and member of Peter, Paul and Mary, Peter Yarrow. It stands as a powerful anthem carrying layers of meaning and a call to action. At its core, the song serves as a tribute to resilience, justice, and the enduring human spirit.
Light one candle for the Maccabean children, with thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. But light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in, that anger won't tear us apart. And light one candle to bring us together with peace as a song in our heart. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears. What is a memory that's valued so highly? We keep it alive in that flame. What's the commitment to those who have died? When we cry out, they've not died in vain. Have we come this far, always believing that justice would somehow prevail? This is the burden, and this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out, it's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out, let it shine through our love and our tears.
Let's light some candles. We gather this hour as people of faith, with joys and sorrows, gifts and needs. We light this beacon of hope, sign of our quest for truth and meaning, in celebration of the life we share together. And as is our custom, we light a second candle in support of those migrants and refugees on our southern border.
So we're going to be lighting two sets of religious holiday candles today. It is the second week of Advent. Before that, we're going to be doing the menorahs. It is the third day of Hanukkah. You light the candles every night, so the fourth one will be lit tonight. And I would invite those people who brought menorahs to come up, and Ralph is going to help us make sure that we light the candles safely. And then I will read the blessing. So if you brought a menorah, I'm asking you to come up and help light your menorah. Yeah. No. Yeah. So Amy.
Conrad usually does this. I don't sing it, and I only know the first verse. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedeshanu v'mitzvoso v'tzivanu l'chadlik ner shel Hanukkah.
And I'm going to do a blessing in English. Radiant is the light of the world. Radiant is the light within each person. Radiant is the light of Hanukkah. Baruch Aor Ba'alam, Baruch Aor Ba'adam, Baruch Aor Hanukkah.
Don't let the light go out empty.
This is week 2 of Advent in the Christian source of our living tradition. One candle lit each week leading up to Christmas. Last week we lit the candle of hope. This Sunday we light the candle representing peace. Even though war is raging in places around the world and sometimes in our hearts, we recognize that peace arrives gently and to an open heart. Please rise in body or spirit to sing O Come, Emmanuel, number 225 in the Gray Hymnal.
Rejoice, rejoice in
One of the ways that we proclaim the warmth and caring of our community is by sharing our joys, concerns, and milestones. If you're joining us virtually, we invite you to type your joy, concern, or milestone in the YouTube chat box during the music for meditation. We begin with silent joys and concerns and invite those here to, one at a time, drop a pebble into our communal bowl during the music for meditation. Spoken joys and concerns will be invited following the musical meditation. If you have a joy, concern, or milestone that you'd like to share with the congregation, I invite you to come forward and briefly share it using the microphone. Sorry. Please don't line up closely. Come forward after the last person has left the microphone.
I have a joy because I see there's progress with this screen. It's going to allow our quote to stay up all the time. We won't have to keep moving it all the time every time we project something. So, but it's still progress, I see, but it's a wonderful joy. And another concern related to that is, if we put up a Christmas tree, where should we put it? Off to the left over here? My left? You're right. Y'all think about it. Talk to me at pop-up.
I'm Lisa, and this is my wife Carter, and we have some news. It's, I think, mostly a joy, some milestone, some concern.
So I get to share the facts, and Lisa gets to be charming. On November 20th, we received a certificate after completing a 10-week course that is required by the state to be licensed as foster parents. We are not officially licensed yet. Our worker has to come do home visits. We hope to be licensed sometime in the new year. I'm gonna go ahead and answer two of the biggest questions we get, which is what ages are we open to? We, not having been parents before, are trying to start with younger children to get our feet wet, build some confidence. But we are very open to the experience of any children who need a living home that we think we can provide. And the other question is, are we doing this to adopt? A lot of people do this very specifically to adopt. That is not our end game. Again, we are very open to the experience. If a child comes into our home and that is the end result, we are happy for that, but we are just looking forward to opening our doors to children in need in the community.
The parents laughing, but like, don't worry, we'll call you. We'll have questions. Okay, thanks.
Some or many of you may either know or remember Caroline Schaefer.
Yeah.
She passed away December 7th in Montgomery. Caroline and David were frequent either members or friends of the AUUF, and they were here for a long time until their health deteriorated at some point. The funeral and memorial arrangements have not been announced yet, but she used to work at Tuskegee College of Veterinary Medicine, so when I get the information, me or Noriko will announce it, make it known. Thank you.
Reverend, everybody. Last Sunday I was not here. I was at Camp Hill, like I said. We helped raise the roofs in a quiet way so that we could bring up the issue of getting some of the roofs up and some of the homes fixed. It's December the 10th, and some of the roofs have still not been fixed yet. So keep the people up there in mind, and they were also trying to raise money to help fix a sewer. I think they met the goal or come close to it. So keep Reverend Darcy and the people at First Universalist in Camp Hill in your minds. It's not over yet. It's getting started. They need all the help that people can give them. Oh, and yes, rediscovered the joy that I've lost. I told you about the situation I was in. I decided to cut myself from it, and I haven't experienced a lot of joy in a while until I cut myself from that situation. But keep everybody still in mind. Thank you. Oh, we should find the store.
This is about the self-survey. I feel a little bit, well.
Talking to the microphone, Connie.
Okay, you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Well, after hearing about Caroline Schaefer's passing, I feel kind of awkward. But I need a ride to Grove Transportation on December 22nd. It's in walking distance, but I'll have luggage. So we'll talk by phone when I tell you the exact time. Okay. Thank you.
So I'm Jason. My wife Aisha set up a mixed age soccer game that we had yesterday. It was a lot of fun. We had it over in Opelika across from the monkey park. We'll probably try to do it again in a month or so. And it was parents versus kids. And I think most of the parents are sore.
Thank you to all who shared their joys, concerns, and milestones this morning. May all the joys, concerns, and milestones of this community, those shared aloud and those held in silence, be received into the care and concern of all present. The light of our chalice would soon flicker and die without the oil or wax that nourishes its flame. 2, the light of AUUF's shared ministry and mission would falter and die without the personal and financial support of its members and friends. To make a donation online, please visit auuf.org/donate. Please indicate whether your donation is for your pledge or the offering. If you're writing a check, stay tuned for further information. This is the second Sunday, and therefore it's the time we give our plate away to an organization doing good work somewhere in the world. This month, the organization is Doctors Without Borders. So if you would like to give your donation to them, write the check to AUUF, and in the memo line, write giving the plate or Doctors Without Borders so that we'll be able to figure it out. If it's for your pledge, just write pledge and we'll figure that out too. Let us now give freely and generously to sustain and strengthen our shared religious community, a community of memory, hope, faith, and love.
So today we're going to have a new member recognition time, and we wanted to have the kids in here with us because it's such an important moment in the life of this community. Welcoming new members to our beloved community is one of the most meaningful and joyous occasions. As Unitarian Universalism is at its heart a covenantal, relational faith, a profoundly human faith with our primary focus being on having an embodied relationship with the well-being of the world. So who we are gathered as a beloved community is just about everything in our faith community. It is with this that I join AUUF in our delight at your presence among us as Peter leads us in our new member recognition this morning.
So as president, I try and keep up with stuff that's going on, but it's harder to sense things that are not happening. And I realized that we hadn't had new member recognition in quite some time. And I said, darn, I better talk to the membership chair about that. So I talked to myself and went back in our dusty records, and it turns out there were 14 people who had not yet been recognized and celebrated in a ceremony like this. So the term new member recognition, the new part of it doesn't exactly apply to some of the people, especially since one of them is the president-elect, so I guess new. So what I'm going to do is, we'll squeeze ourselves up here. I'm going to call the names of people from 2022 who have not yet been recognized. Herb Denmark. Dan Dix. Victoria Dix. Asian Smelius. Andy Milius. And Richard Shelby. And in 2023, we have somebody who's not exactly new, but finally decided to take the plunge, Marjorie Eliason. Lori LaRue. Gary LaRue. Zach Morgan. Connor O'Neill. Andrew Swan. And Heather Swan. In the order of service, there's an insert. This is a reading in which first all the new members up here will read in unison, and then after that, the congregation will respond. Does everybody have one of these little things?
Sure.
You don't. You guys ready to go?
I'm ready.
Okay. We
Enter this faith with hope and possibility in our hearts, pledging to participate in and support the ministries of this fellowship. We promise to remain true to the spirit of love that flows through this fellowship and guides us. We seek your welcome as we join you in this faith.
We welcome you as once we were welcomed ourselves.
We seek to be open and inclusive, respecting your inherent dignity, your ideas, and your vision, in times when it is easy, and in times when it is difficult. We seek to be supportive, not only when you reach out to encourage to us, but also when you need us to reach out to you. In return, we ask that you recognize our humanity. If we don't always live up to our ideals, and when we fall short, we invite you to stay in relationship with us and help us more fully realize the spirit of love. We welcome you as an equal member of this congregation, of this faith, and of our shared spiritual journey.
Well, let's give everybody a big round of applause. Well, we have some parting gifts. Parting welcoming gifts. Don't give it away.
No, I'm showing it to you.
It's the reveal. So we have a historic folkloric bookmark from the past that has a poem written on it, which I'm going to read. It's a poem that's called an abecedarian poem. Each line begins with the next letter of the alphabet. It's 26 lines long. A is for Auburn, the place where we are. B is for blessings that shine like a star. C is for candle we light every week. D is for discussions in which we all speak. E is for enjoy the grounds, flowers, and trees. F is for the front door. Enter there if you please. G is for greeting when you first come in. H is for honest talk with no fear of sin. I is for individual, the power of me. J is for joining in, the power of we. K is for kitchen. See letter F above. L is for liberalism and the importance of love. M is for messages from near and from far. N is for name tags, wherever they are. O is for opening new doors and new ways. P is for peace in our hearts every day. Q is how quickly the welcomes arrive. R is for religions from which we derive. S is for social action and spreading its light. T is for Thatch, down from college, on the right. U is for understanding an admirable goal. B is for victuals, for mind, body, and soul. W is for willingness to take part every day. X is for X-ray, because X is always for X-ray. Y is for you, now joining in the fun. Z is for sounds. The list is now done. So you have a bookmark. It would be appropriate to have a book. Use your bookmark in. We have to have some. This is the Unitarian Universalist Pocket Guide. So I'm just going to hand those out. And, oh, there you go. We'll do it together. So, yeah, pass them to the middle. I got two minutes.
Thank you. Learn the secret handshake.
I can't tell you that. Okay. So when we all have one, again, a round of applause, and you can. So I know the kids are waiting for the moment for all ages. And there's a special excitement today in that the reader of The Moment for All Ages is an old friend of ours who's been around this place for years and years and years and is returning as our acting VRE. Her name is Meadows, and if she'd come up. Well, and the kids can come up. They're still awake. And anyone else who wants to be up close and personal here? You need a chair.
I guess I do. I don't know if I can. Do we have a microphone? Speak really loud. Can y'all hear me back there? Thank you, Laura. Can y'all hear me?
Now you can hear me. I can hear myself. All right. So some of you know me, and some of you do not, and it's same vice versa. Just met some of you, and I'm really excited to get to know y'all a little bit better. Some of you are old enough to remember a few years back when COVID set in. It kind of changed everybody's life, didn't it? Like, it was scary, it was sad, there was all these unknowns. And so this book that we're going to read today, The Great Realization, talks about some of the things that came out of that. Thank you, Laura. Fix this. My name tag was upside down. Okay. So, The Great Realization. Tell me the one about the virus again, then I'll go to bed. What, my boy, you're growing weary, sleepy thoughts about your head. Please, that one's my favorite. I promise just once more. Take me back to 2020. That's all I'm asking for. Wait, it gets better, it gets better. Okay, snuggle down, my boy, though I know you know full well. The story starts before then, in a world I once would dwell. It was a world of waste and wonder, of poverty and plenty, back before we understood why hindsight's 2020. You see, the people came up with companies to trade across all lands, but they swelled and got much bigger than we ever could have planned. Can you see John Jackson? Can you see the story? We'd always had our wants, but now it got so quick. You could have anything you dreamed of in a day, and with a click. We noticed families had stopped talking. That's not to say they never spoke, but the meaning must have melted and the work-life balance broke. Let's change sides so everybody can see. And the children's eyes grew squarer, and every toddler had a phone. They filtered out the imperfections, but amidst the noise, they felt alone. Every day the skies grew thicker till you couldn't see the stars. So we flew in planes to find them, while down below we filled our cars. We'd drive around all day in circles. We'd forgotten how to run. We swapped the grass for tarmac, shrunk the parks till there were none. We filled the sea with plastic because our waste was never capped. Until each day when you went fishing, you'd pull them out, already wrapped. And while we drank and smoked and gambled, our leaders taught us why. It's best to not upset the lobbies, more convenient to die. But then in 2020, a new virus came our way. The governments reacted, told us all to hide away. But while we were all hidden, amidst the fear and all the while, we dusted off our instincts and remembered how to smile. We started clapping to say thank you and calling up our moms. And while the car keys gathered dust, we would look forward to our runs. And with the sky less full of voyagers, the earth began to breathe, and the beaches bore new wildlife that scuttled off into the seas. Do you see the little turtles? Some people started dancing. Some were singing, some were baking. We'd grown so used to bad news, but there was good news in the making. Old habits became extinct, and they made way for new. And every simple act of kindness was now given its due. And so when we found the cure and were allowed to go outside, we all preferred the world we found to the one we left behind. But why did it take a virus to bring the people back together? Well, sometimes you get sick, my boy, before you start feeling better. So lie down and dream of tomorrow and all the things that we can do. And who knows, if you dream hard enough, maybe some of them will come true. We now call it the Great Realization. And yes, since then there have been many. But that's the story of how it started and why hindsight's 2020. Okay, what's up?
We'll sing it out.
May your words bring truth into the world. May your hearts know love and your hands do justice as you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace. As you go your way in peace.
The German synagogue melody, Rock of Ages, Let Our Song, and we're going to be singing it right after my message. Rock of Ages, let our song praise your saving power. You amidst the raging foes were our sheltering tower, kindling new the holy lamps, priest unbowed by suffering, purified the nation's shrine. Kindling new the holy lamps. There it is, the central ritual imperative of Hanukkah, which, as I said earlier, is in its 4th day today of this year. So let's see if I can talk a lot about food in every sermon, but I'm going to talk for a minute about food again. Jewish holiday foods are often hard to come by. Pomegranates for the new year, they're just not in season here or anywhere else, in September. And nearly, it's really weird, always lately, boxes of matzah, unleavened bread, can't find them, and the horseradish, the bitter herbs for the Passover Seder meal go missing, unless secured, I used to say weeks in advance, I think it's months in advance now. You have to go get that horseradish and try to hope that those matzah won't go stale. I have taken to hoarding these items in my pantry from year to year. But after all, you can make your own flatbread. It might not look exactly like Manischewitz matzah, but it'll do. And for Hanukkah, you can grate your own potatoes and onions for potato latkes. That really greasy, I should like it, but I don't, potato pancake that we have. Or you can have those really greasy, oily donuts that they have this time of year, because oil. But it's the candles that are critical. A couple of years ago on our neighborhood Facebook page, a Jewish woman said that somehow she and her husband had forgotten to check on the status of their Hanukkah candles and had discovered in the middle of the pandemic that they only had 2 days' worth left in the box that they had purchased the previous year, when it was much easier just to ride around from store to find some. By the way, I was just told by Laura this morning that she went from store to store in Auburn and she only found them at parted. So things haven't changed a lot. But by the end of the day, this woman, who was just bereft about not having enough Hanukkah candles, called around and she found a small supply remaining at the nearby Kroger. So holiday, holy day disaster was averted. Because Hanukkah calls for a lot of candles, at least 36 candles, 8 for each night of the Festival of Lights, and actually 44, including the Shamash candle, the kindling light, to mark an ancient winter festival for the Jewish people. And isn't it always true that if we go back, these are pagan festivals that turn into other things, that turned into a minor commemoration told as a hard-fought guerrilla war of liberation from Syrian Greek oppression and religious degradation, and then and increasingly has burst into a more major and commercialized celebration, complete with a miracle of 8 days of unexpected light and gambling games with spinning tops or dreidels. I had gone through the same crisis the week before that year that the woman frantically went on Facebook, finding only 5 forlorn candles left in my old box, but I managed to order some from Amazon that arrived just in time. Before that, I too, as I said, had put out the call and had gotten sweet notes from Jewish friends across the country saying, I wish you lived next door so you could at least borrow some. How do you borrow candles? And the suggestion, this was so wonderful, from a progressive rabbi that, for God's sake, he said, we're in the middle of a COVID surge, not to beat yourself up that you might fall short because you don't have enough of the box candles. You could use any candle you can find. That's perfectly okay. After all, I eventually reminded myself, Jews in concentration camps in the middle of the Holocaust saved scraps of fat from their food and used loose threads to form makeshift wicks stuck in a carved raw potato. That's how they made their Hanukkah menorahs. So yes, amidst the Holocaust horrors, historians tell us that many Jews still found ways to mark Hanukkah, to keep the holy lamp blazing. There was little room for light in Theresienstadt, where some 140,000 Czech Jews came through that Nazi camp during the war. Almost 1 in 4 of them that was in the camp eventually submitting to disease or starvation, that those who survived moved on, as we know, to much more horrible places. If there could be a more horrible place, that's where they went. Yet still, in 1942, someone somehow stole a large block of wood and carved what is described as an ornate Hanukkah, the special menorah or candle holder, that was found when the camp was liberated. Other Jews in other ghettos and camps found some way to kindle a flame and celebrate the holiday. In Warsaw, behind closed curtains, joyfully lighting menorahs that they would have to leave behind when they were either unfortunately killed on the spot in Warsaw or transported, and later after the war and liberation in Westerbach, a transit camp in the Netherlands, somebody made a menorah out of wood and aluminum foil with grease and cotton wigs serving as a candle. And they found another menorah made out of cartridge scraps and shell casings dedicated to the American military that had liberated them, who had freed them, inscribed, "A great miracle happened here." Indeed, a great miracle. Their lives were saved. A great miracle happened there. So recent surveys have revealed how many young people, younger people in particular, have an astonishingly limited knowledge of the Holocaust. How many of you have heard that? But they really don't know, and if they know, they think it was not so bad, or much better than it really was. The genocide of millions of Jews and other people, even fewer of any age, place this horrific event in the context of thousands of years of systematic, violent persecution against the people, whose holidays and holy days made them vulnerable to brutal attack, whose lights by the necessity of survival were hidden, but whose rituals maintained in some fashion. Years before what we call the final solution, the attempted total eradication of the Jews, families like mine and my husband's lived in that fear and also in that courage, fear and courage. His grandmother for Romania bringing a dingy brass menorah with her to this country, and a tea kettle. Those are the only two non-essential items that his grandmother Rose brought from Romania. This menorah. Leaving behind the small shtetls or drab Jewish towns where these Jews had nearly vanished, decimated by the exodus to the United States and Canada and Israel, by what is called the Holocaust of the Forest, by decades then afterwards of communist repression, where they were routinely persecuted for practicing their religion. So now in Russia, only a handful of Jewish people remain, a few synagogues, not quite completely broken after hundreds of years. In 1998, Hanukkah was celebrated for the first time in Spain since its Jewish population was decimated by the Inquisition and expulsions more than 500 years ago. There was a ritual lighting of a 15-foot menorah on the 8th and final day in the old Jewish quarter of Girona, which attracted more than 1,000 people to watch this happen, including many non-Jews. A demonstration of only recently established religious tolerance, where only in 1992, Islam, Protestant Christianity, and Judaism was put on equal footing with the country's predominant Catholicism and its cruel record of domination and subjugation of people whose religion was not Roman Catholic. 1492, so when you think 1492, what do you think? Columbus, okay. 1492, you're right, was a terrible year. It might have been an okay year for Columbus, but we've kind of gone past that and have stopped calling it Columbus Day. We call it Indigenous Persons Day. It was a terrible year for the Native people in the Americas. Do we agree? Yes. But it was also a terrible people for the Jewish people on the Iberian Peninsula as well. In Spain today, there might be 25,000 Jews compared with the more than 200,000 when the Roman Catholic monarchs, King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella, in what was called the Edict of Expulsion, ordered all Jews to leave the country within 3 months. 3 months. It didn't matter if they had first tried converting, then it didn't matter anymore. They had 3 months to get out of Spain. This followed years of mobs looting and destroying Jewish synagogues and homes, economic hardships, famine, forced conversion, torture, burning at the stake. I'm sorry to get this heavy, but this is what happened, so we need to talk about it, don't we? Yes. Most Jews left for Portugal, which in its turn expelled all its Jews 4 years later. And my husband and I went to Portugal for vacation, and we saw the plaza where they were asked to come. They were told, I don't know what they were told, they showed up, and they were forced to leave, if they even got out. The last Spanish Inquisition death was recorded in 1926. 1926. And the Office of Inquisition officially closed only in 1992, when the Olympics came to Barcelona and the Spanish government promised, which was largely rescinded, to offer Spanish citizenship to its descendants of Sephardic Jews forced out centuries ago. It hardly happened at all. More than 100 outwardly Christian descendants of Jews who were essentially forcibly converted to Catholicism during the Inquisition celebrated Hanukkah in Palermo, Sicily in 2013 in what Tablet magazine reporter Rachel Silverstein described as a very unlikely venue for a celebration, the infamous Steri Palace prison, where she wrote, Jews were routinely tortured for 2 centuries. Centuries after the Steri Palace prison was used to try to extinguish our light, one official said, we came here to show that the flame of Judaism continues to burn, regardless. Candles were lit as these lost Jews reconnected with light, through light, with the wider Jewry of the world. It was an amazing, amazing occasion. Before COVID derailed it, my husband and I were set to take a Rhodes Scholar course. How many of you have done that, Rhodes Scholar tours? I guess you should. Ours was canceled, so I can't tell you how they are. Because of COVID. It's so cool. I mean, it's not cool that Meadows, read this today because there's sort of an intersection. Anyway, we were set to go on a Rhodes Scholar course on the secret Jews. The secret Jews who found their way to the Americas, to New Mexico, in the Southwest territories of what was formerly called New Spain. Today, there are thousands, at least 1,500 known families in the high desert communities around Albuquerque and Santa Fe living there. These hidden people, these conversos. Writer Trudy Alexie tells us that the strength of their connections to Judaism and their own awareness of even being Jewish at all vary greatly from family to family. Some of the Jewish customs these conversos, these hidden people continue to observe have been so modified over time, they are barely recognizable. They don't even know that they're celebrating Jewish rituals. They only know that it came from their families and their families and their families, and they still do that. So while the official educational program was called up, we got the rabbi who was supposed to do the presentations to have lunch with us. And she told us that the hidden Jewish practices have included not working on the Sabbath, not eating pork or pork products, having 2 sets of dishes, praying 3 times a day, facing east, and lighting long burning candles in church on Friday. All of these are, potentially Jewish observances. And what I'm telling you is a lot of these people don't have any idea why they are doing it at all. It's just something that was carried down from when they came over. Nevertheless, after 20 generations, they continue to persist even after being chased by the Inquisition thousands of miles into a new land. Even after all the years of hiding and imprisonment and torture, of burnings, looking always over their shoulders, many of them still remain devout Catholics, some of them emerging cautiously, slowly approaching local synagogues and trying to navigate their complicated religious and cultural identities, if you can imagine that. Keeping the courage memory intact and the fear memory as well. This year, with what is going on, as one reporter has observed, with the continuing violence overseas and anti-Semitism at home, many American Jews once more feel embattled and feel afraid. When asked on social media whether Jewish families intended to place their menorahs in their windows, some have said emphatically, what? No. It feels too dangerous. It feels too dangerous. This was a fear memory of a family in Billings, Montana some years back, when Black and Native Americans and Jewish families became the target of intimidation, when a brick was thrown through the window of a 6-year-old Jewish boy who placed his menorah there. This led to 10,000 menorahs placed in windows standing against hate and bigotry in Billings, Montana. So once more, the call has gone out in the form of Project Menorah, a grassroots movement which encourages, again, non-Jews to place a menorah in their windows this December in fellowship with Jewish friends and neighbors. And I will tell you, parenthetically, there will be a menorah lighting in my town square tonight. And I was there last night for another occasion, and I asked the police, do you have any plans to protect us if something happens? And they said, no. They said no. Reminding us that while wax may drip and the wick burn away, the opportunity in the midst of this for multi-faith collaboration is wide open to build safer and more inclusive communities. But we can't be silent, and we have to start now in courageous and peaceful ways. In courageous and peaceful ways, we have to start now. Courage, the state or quality of mind or spirit that enables one to face danger, fear, or vicissitudes with self-possession, confidence, and resolution. Do you have that courage? Yes. Children of the prophet's word, whether free or fettered, wake the echoes of the songs where you may be scattered. Yours the message cheering that the time is nearing, which shall see all people free and tyrants disappearing. May it be so. And now I'd like you to rise in body or spirit and actually sing the song that from the lyrics came from number 223, Rock of Ages, in the gray hymnal, 223.
Please join me in extinguishing our chalice. You'll find the words in your order of service. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please be our guest today after the service for our coffee hour here in the sanctuary. And please stay after that and partake in our traditional second Sunday potluck meal. All are welcome to join, whether you brought any food or not. Welcome to join. And you can meet some of our new members. If you're not signed up for our email list, please make sure to do so to receive updates about ways to connect. You can find information on signing up at our website, auuf.org/subscribe. I invite anyone with a brief spoken announcement to come forward at this time.
I was looking for Camilla. I'm thinking she's not here. But Carolyn Levy made her a birthday cake. And so I'm going to bring the birthday cake out and we could sing her happy birthday even though she's not here. Anyway, happy birthday, Camilla. I think she's 92? 92. Yes. 92. She's 92. Oh, and her birthday was on the 6th of December.
couple brief announcements. Next week, we'd like to have everyone who's bringing canned goods for the holiday helping boxes to bring them. You can bring them during the week and put them on the screen porch. They're 2 big boxes. So you can put those in. I think I sent an email out with specific things based on your alphabet of your last name, or you could use your first name, doesn't matter. And also, if you want to make cash donations, that would also be welcome, because that way we can fill in any holes that are in the box, or the boxes. All right, another announcement. Christmas Eve is coming up, our holiday service. In the morning, Sylvia is going to be doing something for those of you who want to come Sunday morning. She will have a play, so it should be fun. And then the evening service, still looking for participants. We have slots for both music, your musical talents, and also for readings. It's a very family-friendly event. So those of you with families, and I can sort of look at you and say, I want you and your family to do something, please send me an email so we can put you on the list. Get a few people in there. We will try to keep it within our time so that we don't go over, because we know things are happening at home afterwards. Also, need someone to coordinate the snack at the end, the cookies and hot cocoa. So if someone would like to do that, that would be very much appreciated. Please see me about that. And then in terms, finally, as a, theme, if we have to have a theme for the Christmas Eve service, kind of as a convergence, a word came to me this morning, and it's been brought up several times today, and that is the word welcome. We are welcome. So we will welcome folks Christmas Eve. When we have a reading that sort of goes to that theme, please consider sharing it with all of us. Thanks.
Please join in our song benediction.
Again from Peter Yarrow, light one candle for the strength we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain that we learned long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in. Let anger not tear us apart. And light one candle to bind us together with peace as a thought in our heart.
Before